So last time I was just on the initially I have started this with this that autonomic nervous system, that how the involuntary actions and the sympathetic parasympathetic nervous system are the part of autonomic, and we have done with this that the number of spinal and cranial nerves. This we have discussed. So let's see that first today, as we are concentrating on autonomic nervous system and as it is classified as sympathetic and parasympathetic one. So that is a very basic and the major classification of this type of nervous system, because uh, if we read some primary books, when we start reading something about nervous system, uh, uh, they most of many of primary books means those which belongs to the primary classes or something like that. Okay, so in that most of them is are showing us the description. Is it clearly seen there?
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine. So sympathetic one and parasympathetic. Okay. For like the way it is written, most of the time it is written that they are working opposite to each other. That is very true. Okay, that means they are balancing each other's act. Whatever the control autonomic nervous system is having in our body. So these two things are working out as a balancing in between of any type of activity which is occurring in our body, no matter it is related to your the thing like heartbeat or something like that, or whatever thinking or negative positive thoughts, everywhere it is having its effect. Okay, so in many of the books it is written that sympathetic helps in increasing the things and parasympathetic helps in decreasing the activity, means the frequency or its whatever uh, I will say the speed or something like that. But as we are studying it in a very nice good detail, let's see this, that it's not always you can say that sympathetic nervous system is responsible for only the increasing any type of activity and it is responsible only for decreasing. It's not like that. They are in some of the metabolic activities, here the rate increases is controlled by sympathetic, and in some of the activities the higher rate is controlled by the parasympathetic one. So there may be the possibility that they may be juggling, or they have some divisions in which some of the activities here sympathetic is taking care of, and in some the parasympathetic comes in the picture. Okay, so let see to this, that when we talk about this one, sympathetic and parasympathetic one, the major one that we have to understand, that let's talk about first of all heartbeat. Okay, so heartbeat is the one. It is the thing which it is not under your control. Okay. So the thing is, first of all, it is starting from the day the heart is formed. The cardiac muscles are formed inside the mother's body when that whole embryo is developing, and the moment the cardiac muscles are coming in action, from that moment it is starting the things out, and the sympathetic and parasympathetic one will be having the control over it. Okay, so heartbeat if we say, it is increased, that sympathetic nervous system will increase the heartbeat, while the parasympathetic will help out in decreasing it. Now, see how it is happening. As we know that we have a particular rate of heartbeat per minute. That means from
72.
72 to 75 times it is beating. Okay.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
plus minus 3, 5 is not a big deal. It's okay. It's fine. Okay. But if it is going too down, like if it is beating only 30 beats per minute, and or on the other side, if you say if it is beating like 100 beats per minute, then it's a cause of worry. Okay, so first of all, see to this, that there are so many reasons which are affecting the heartbeat. Okay. uh, First of all, there may be the possibility of any physical activity when you are exercising, when you are running. Sometimes, whenever you are laughing too loud, also, then your heart will start beating very fast. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is a physical one. Then there may be the mental cause even. Suppose if you get shocked from something suddenly, or when the especially when you have the kids in the house and they are suddenly appearing in front of you from nowhere, and you are concentrating on something, then suddenly you will be shocked, and at that time you will be having that type of thing, that heartbeat may increase. Okay. And that comes up sudden reaction from your body. Now, if we say mental, like some people are very sensitive to the things. Like, suppose if they hear about some news that is very tragic or sad or something, they will suddenly they will feel the that sadness or depression in their body, and their heartbeat may increase, their BP may rise, or something like that happens. So there are many causes which can affect the heartbeat. Okay, so keeping it under the control, that means maintaining that particular rate of beating is done by both of them. That means if sudden reaction will uh, is coming to your body, and your heartbeat has increased, the parasympathetic will come in picture, and it will lead to decreasing it. Okay. And suppose if somebody is suffering from low blood pressure or something like that, their heartbeat will also decrease. Okay, at that time sympathetic part will become active, and it will try to increase the heartbeat at the particular rate. So that is how these two systems are working in our body. Understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that is how they are doing. Now, see to this, that here we have seen that this is increasing and this is decreasing. If we talk about the another type of movement in our body, that is also a very major one, that is peristalsis. I think
Yes,
you
ma'am.
are aware of this word.
Yes, miss. The process by which the food goes through the
Yeah,
esophagus, right?
yeah, yeah. Wherever the movement of food is, that from once it is clearing your
Swallowed.
mouth and it is entering the food pipe. Okay, so once it is inside there, then you don't have any other way to push the food inside. So peristalsis is the one that is doing that process. Okay. Similarly, peristalsis also occurs when you are ejecting the waste material out of your body. That means after the large intestine is removing the fecal material, so when it is coming out of your body, at that time also peristalsis will be happening. Understood this? Okay.
Yes, miss.
And similarly, peristalsis is also shown by the muscles in the female in the that is in uterus. Okay, so it is occurring when the female is delivering a baby. Okay, so the baby has to be pushed out from the uterus through vagina, it will come out. Okay, so at that time the muscles will also be they will also showing beating and movement like this, and it will help in pushing out the baby out of the mother's body. So at that time also peristalsis occurs. Okay, so it's that is only prescribed to the female body, not for the males, it is not there, okay, anywhere. But for it is for digestive system restricted over there. But for females in uterus region also, it is, these muscles are performing the same type of function. So what happens that suppose if you have let's take the example of food. Okay, so when you are eating up the food and it is going down, sometimes you may have seen that some people eat the food very in a very fast manner, they are doing it. Okay, and some are very slow eater. So some those who are very fast eating very fast, and people are like this. So at that time the food has to be means forcefully it is going inside. Okay, so what is happening that peristalsis is definitely is a effect is under the influence of it. So sympathetic nervous system decreases the movement of peristalsis, while parasympathetic will increase it. Just remember that. So it's a opposite thing. So the way it is written in the primary sections or something like that in those
Miss, if
books.
Miss, if
Yeah.
peristalsis decreases, will it help a person to eat fast or eat slow?
Basically, it help. See, it is decreasing. The rate is quite slows down. Because then only it will help in digestion. Okay, if it is going very fast, suppose person is eating very fast, then
Is
it
then
will be
peristalsis increases?
increases due to
Okay, okay.
parasympathetic.
That's
Okay,
what I.
but it has to be controlled, it should not be reached to the very higher level. So at that time sympathetic will take the control, that the this increased speed should be remain at the prescribed pace. It should not go beyond the that particular limit, otherwise the digestion will be affected. So at that time sympathetic will take control and it will decrease that particular. Understood this?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So that's why you must have seen that those who are eating very fast sometimes they feel that the food is sometimes they feel suddenly they will start coughing. Suddenly they will start the food is struck somewhere and they will the tears will come out of the eyes and then they will demand for water and all that. So because this system is getting disturbed, that's why this is happening. Understood this?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So this is how it is. It is not that always sympathetic is responsible for increasing the things. It is not mentioned anywhere that it is only for decreasing. There maybe that some activities are increasing just because of sympathetic and some are decreasing due to sympathetic. That is how it is working. Understood this?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so there are many activities you can talk about, like the dilation of pupil. If I say that, if suddenly if you are sitting in a room which is completely dark, okay, and suddenly somebody comes up and switch on the lights, then you will feel that your eyes will get
Pain.
close, and it will try to accommodate that what sudden light that is coming in your room. Okay, or sometimes what happens that you are sitting in a very bright room and the light goes off, suddenly it's a complete darkness, then your eyes will try to adjust that darkness. Okay, and after some time, uh, first at a moment it will be suddenly very dark, you can't see, you can't even locate anything. But after few minutes that darkness will be accommodated by your eyes, and that will be okay for you, that you can I think you are aware of the things that are available in the room. So that type of balancing is also done by sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Got it?
Yes, miss.
Okay. And um, this is definitely because next chapter we have sense organ. In that you will be studying the structure of eye. In that you will be having one section that there are different types of cells which are doing this, that adjusting the vision. Okay, in that we will be studying, and that is under control of this autonomic nervous system. Okay, so that is what we are going to learn in the next one. And another one is that sometimes uh, you must have seen that if people are very happy, their eyes will be little become big, and the lens, you can see it will be dilating due to the happiness. If you have observed this, because if people are very happy, the eyes will also show the happiness. That's why you can say that if the person is depressed, if you study psychology or something like that, if person is depressed, the doctor will first of all check out for the eyes with the torch. Have you seen it?
No, miss, no particular experience.
Not okay, fine. So no worries, but this is what is happening. Doctors will check out with the eyes and all that, and they will find, because they have some different type of reading and all that. So that is how the people will do. So because happiness and the sadness or fear or all these emotions have the effect on your eyes also. If you are tired, your eyes will show. Your it will be seen in your eyes. So eyes are very sensitive organs of your body, which are suddenly shows the clear picture whatever emotion you are feeling at that time. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so this is what is parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system is. Now see that that we have you can go through many of the activities with if, according to your book or some other reference books. In that you can see the different types of sympathetic and parasympathetic must be written over there. Every activity, if you take about blood pressure, if you take about digestion, if you talk about something, whatever it is coming, that this will come in picture and it will show you that how it is balanced. So there are so many other activities also. So let's talk about reflexes after this, because they are the one. uh, I think I am right with the spelling. Okay.
Yes, miss.
Okay, fine. So let's talk about the sorry, reflexes. Oh, sorry. Mm, mm, fine. So thing is, reflexes are the one. Our sense organs are because our sense organs are only designed to identify the reflexes, and due to these sense organs and due to these reflexes, we are considered as a living being on the earth first of all. And these reflexes are responsible for training the individual for the future, and that evolves you from one situation to another, because only the reflexes makes your brain understand that what is happening around you. Okay, so these reflexes are very important, and they have so many classifications in that. That first of all, you first basic one is we have that involuntary reflexes and voluntary reflexes. So the basic difference between them is involuntary, that means you are
Out of
doing them,
control.
yes, out of control, you are doing them unknowingly, like blinking of eyes and all that.
Miss,
So you don't know.
reflexes are unknowingly only, na?
Pardon, what you are saying there?
So I'm telling that reflexes, what we do are involuntary only.
Not exactly, you can say that. See this, that because you have the word stimulus. Okay. So the thing is, whatever thing is happening, activity is happening around you. At that time, because as a human being, we have a developed brain and we have sense of judgment. Okay. So all the things you cannot classify in the involuntary part. Okay, that part we will see, because you have conditioned reflexes also. You have one topic in which you are we are talking about the conditioned
Reflexes.
reflexes. Okay, so let's see what is conditioned one. That one experiment is there. In that you will understand that. So first, involuntary and voluntary, I think you are aware of that. The one which you are doing unknowingly, like the food you are eating, it is reaching to the whole digestive system, and once it is reaching to your stomach, you don't feel it that the food is moving inside. Do you feel it?
No, miss.
No, you don't feel the that it is the your stomach is churning. Yeah, sometimes definitely the some type of voice you can hear from somebody's stomach, but the movement, whatever is going inside, you cannot feel it. It's a normal process, and it will be happening inside your body, and it will not hinder your any of the activity. Okay. Similarly, the blood is flowing in our body. That is also is not being felt. It is flowing. It is doing its work. It is exchanging oxygen, carbon dioxide. That is what is happening. Okay. When you are breathing, your ribs will be moving. Your diaphragm will be moving. Everything is done, but it is not like. See, when you are breathing, it is not like you have to sit and you have to pause for a minute. Then you will breathe, then only you will do the work. No, it's not like breathing is the activity which is happening. When you are talking, also breathing is happening. When you are sleeping, everything it is happening. So that all these things comes under involuntary actions. Understood this?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So then you have voluntary one. Voluntary means that means it's under your control. That means if you are sitting on the chair and if somebody is calling you, suppose there are two options. Those who are calling you, if it's your father and and your friend. If it's your friend, then you will say, okay, fine, coming in 5 minutes. But if it's your father, then you will definitely get up for and you will go and look out what he is saying, because father is a authority. So you have that sense of judgment. Okay, fine, I have to get up and I have to go to him. Definitely you will not say your dad that come here and tell me what is the matter. Will
Yes,
you
miss.
say like?
No,
Definitely.
miss.
So that type of judgment we are having. Okay, but if it's your friend, you will say either come in the house, or you will say I am coming in 5 minutes. Okay, so that thing you are aware of, your brain is trained of. Okay, so that is what the voluntary action. uh, so see to this that when we talk about the conditioned one, conditioned reflexes are the one which you are having the you are trained. The body is obtained the training after you are receiving that particular stimulus. Now there is one experiment, Pavlov's experiment is there. This is very famous experiment. I just will make you aware of,
Is that dog
because
one?
yes, the even the psychology people will be having a thesis on this and all that. So it's a very important experiment of Paulo. And so what this experiment is showing is that uh, this particular scientist, what he did is that he just had one pet, that is a dog. And what he was doing that he was because he was his pet, he was giving the food to that particular pet at a particular time. So it was you first what was happening first condition, because we are talking about conditioned reflexes. So see to this that here he will be providing some of the conditions to the particular stimulus. Okay, and as the stimulus is a food. Got it? So
Yes.
what happened that he had a dog, and he has a particular time. At a particular time he was giving him food. So the dog was very much trained, and the pet was aware
Habituated.
of, yes, he was habituated, and he was aware that he will be having food at evening or morning, whatever time is given to that particular pet. Okay, so first he was for a week he have seen, for a week or 10 days he has done this. Okay, then what he this particular man did was that that in the second condition, he had a dog, and what he was doing that he was giving him food, and at the same time he was ringing one bell. Whenever there was a time for food, he used to, what he used to do was he was ringing that bell, and then he will be giving the food to the dog. So this type of method he continued for 10 days or 15 days till the dog was habituated to that type of activity. Okay, then what Paulo did, and third condition what he did that to the dog, he at the whenever there was a time that the dog was hungry, at that time he just ring the bell, and he didn't provided the food. Okay, so that's a very bad thing he did. But the thing is, he ring the bell, and he was watching out that see, when in first condition, when dog was provided with the food, you must have seen that basic nature of the dog is he will take his tongue out. He will
Yes.
start as the saliva will be pouring out, and he will start wagging his tail because he is favorite for his master. Okay, so he will start wagging his tail like this, that okay, fine, my time is on, and now my master will be giving me the food. Okay, so similarly what happened that when this type of condition was there, when he was giving him food, at that time he used to ring the bell. The condition was same for the dog, because he was just looking for the food only. Okay, so what the saliva was there pouring out of his tongue, and he was wagging his tail. Then in the third condition, when food was not there, but he just ring the bell at the time of giving food. So now the dog is trained, the brain of the dog is trained that whenever the bell is ringing, at that time definitely the food will come. So what happened that dog has started the salivating the his tongue, and he start wagging the tail. But then what happened that after till the whole week, if the master has done this, that he is not providing the food, then the dog will be trained that okay, fine, this is not the condition that when the bell is ringing I am getting the food. So the that wagging the tail and all that will be then that will be vanished. Understood? So that is how the brain will be trained according to the conditions whatever is being provided to the any of the living organ. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so that was Paulo's experiment, and in this experiment he got that idea. Okay, fine. Our brain have some type of so our brain is having that type of strategy that okay, fine. If these are the conditions, definitely next will be the same situation. See, this is the Pavlov's experiment, but we have our own experiences, because right now you are in the school. when regular schools were there, you must have experienced that you know that once the teacher is in the class and whosoever he or she, they are teaching you, and after some time the bell will be ringing, you will be keeping that books in your bag and you will be taking the other books out for the next class, and the other ma'am will come. So at that time your brain is trained, means no matter you are talking to your friend, your classmate, or whosoever who is sitting next to you, but you will be doing this unconsciously. That means that will not make you to sit and to decide that what you have to do. You have to take the other book out or you have to keep this book inside. That you will not do. You will be doing that activity very normally. Am I right?
Yes, miss. Absolutely.
Okay. Yes. So similarly, at the recess time, you know that no matter what is the condition, you have to eat. So definitely the lunch boxes will be out, and you will be all will be eating and playing, and that's a normal training that is happening to our brain, and it is obtained from the experiences we are getting throughout the life. Okay, so that is how because these are called conditioned reflexes, because whatever condition is provided to the brain will be trained accordingly. Understood this?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so this is a very important one, the conditioned and the conditioned reflexes. Uh, it you know that it includes so many things. Our daily life activities are conditioned. We know that in morning we have to get up and we have normal activities to do, normal routine we are following, and that is we are trained of all the things. We know, I think you are aware that when your mother is in the kitchen and the festival is around, you will be having some good food on your platter. That is a very normal thing will be coming up in your thoughts and all that. So that's a conditioned one. And so this is how because this is how the living beings are learning, and this that is what the learning procedure is, and it is coming up through the conditioned reflexes. Okay.
Okay, miss.
Okay, so that's why it is being said that as a kid, the kid should be exposed to the as many as activities they can do, because uh, their brain is right now in the process of formation. Formation, not physically that formation. The brain is still on the very primary stage of learning, so that's why kids are very much uh, rapidly they are obtaining these reflexes, and they are very fastly they will be trained of some of the type of situations. So that's why it is being said that if at the younger age, if you are exposed to the as many as conditions you are, so you will be trained very well for the future or for the upcoming days. This is how the conditioned reflexes are studied by the scientist of psychology, or even the biologist. Everybody is learning them. That is why they are very important when you are studying the brain. Okay. Anything to be asked in this?
No, miss.
Okay. So that is what you have to see. And so this is about the experiment of Paulo, and involuntary and voluntary actions we will be discussing with this. That involuntary definitely, like uh, if we say blinking of eyes, heartbeat, uh, everything whatever is not under your control, your pulse rate, yeah, your muscles are moving, many of the muscles are moving unknowingly. So that is even the uh, if I say that if something goes inside your eyes, and you feel that tears are flushing out of your eyes, so all these are the involuntary reflexes, and your body will be suddenly uh, perform the action accordingly. Okay. Now, voluntary action is the one which is under, as we have discussed, that it is under our control. So, if I say that the conditioned and involuntary, voluntary, and one more reflexes is there that we will be discussing is this one, that is inborn. Okay, inborn reflexes. Let me write like this. So inborn reflexes are the one, that means the infant who is just born. Okay, that particular individual is also aware of some activities. Now let me tell you that I don't know you have seen the on the Discovery channels or not, but if you see the baby in the womb, they are also affected by the activities surrounding the mother's body. Okay, so if as we have ultrasound techniques nowadays, and if you ultrasound the nowadays you have 3D and 4D ultrasound, if you are not aware of, uh, that means in that you can see the video of a baby the way we see the movies. Okay, so it's so clear nowadays. So if you just see the ultrasound activity, and in the mother's womb at the eighth month of pregnancy, or at the last weeks of pregnancy, at that time you can see a very beautiful picture that in mother's womb, what happens that if you play wherever the mother is sitting for the ultrasound, and if you play a very soothing music to that particular area, then the baby will start enjoying it, you know that.
No, miss.
Okay, fine. Just watch out. I think on TV, on Discovery, something about babies is some episodes are coming up. I don't know the name of that particular serial, whatever is there. Okay, but the thing is, in that you will see that that if you play the music, then the baby will start enjoying that. And it's a very wonderful thing that the baby will show you some of the activities, even that the baby you can see the baby smiling. You even see the baby is moving hands and dancing a bit. The movement of the hands will be like this, that they are enjoying the things. And uh, they will stretch, they will just crumble in mother's body, they will float freely. Okay, so that is how they will enjoy. And suddenly if you change the mode of music, suppose if you play that I don't know what type of music is that, hard rock or death rock or metal rock, I don't know what is that. Yeah. But if that music you will play, the baby will start rejecting the things. If you see, you can see that uh, because the eyes of the babies are closed like this in the mother's womb, you can see frown on the forehead, that they are not liking the way they will crumble their forehead, that they are not liking this music, or they will start uh, going. They means they will cover their body, or they will rumble at one place. This is how they are behaving to the reflexes. So that strong the reflexes are acting upon your body, even in the mother's womb this is happening. So that's why it is being suggested to the pregnant ladies that listen to the good music. Understood? And
Yes.
that will help in developing the baby's mental development and all that. And that's why the thoughts of mother, the way the mother is looking out the things, whatever she is watching out on the television, that will definitely affect to the baby. If a mother is watching quarrel, if she is watching some uh, abuse, if she is going through abuse or something like is there, that will definitely affect the baby which is developing inside her. So that is why reflexes has to be taken care from the day the embryo is formed, from the day the kid is decided to be born. Those reflexes are called inborn. You have not taught the baby to do that. It is inborn. That means as a human baby, it is designed the way its body and the brain, that it will start behaving like that. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss.
So these are the inborn reflexes. Some are conditioned, involuntary, voluntary. This is how the classification you will study when you talk about the reflexes. Understood this?
Yes, miss. Clearly.
Okay. So if actually these are the virtual classes, otherwise if we had the real one, um, I have some of the animations for these chapters in which we can see this, that how reflexive, that means how your sensory neuron is sensitized and how it is behaving and what is happening when you are responding out the things. So it's a good one, and if you have, I think you may find out on the YouTube or somewhere. uh, just go through these, put all these words, and you will have many of the videos in which they will show you that how these stimulus is passing in your neurons, and what is happening if you are a baby, what is happening when you are adult. So many things can be understood. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So this is how our brain is trained up, and with this we have the chapter in future. First we have sense organs, then we have, I think, endocrine system we are having after this. Am I right?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so when we will be discussing endocrine, at that time you will relate to the reflexes more, because hormones are also playing very important role, that how your body is behaving to certain activities. Okay, so at that time you will have that comparison with brain and the hormones. Okay, fine, how they are balancing out the things. So you will study that. And sense organs, I think in sense organ you must be having the structure of eye, structure of ears.
Yes,
uh,
miss.
okay, so very important is the structure of ear, quite complex, but I
Miss, we
will
need
try.
to draw it. Miss, we
Yes,
need to draw it.
I will be drawing it, and
No, miss, I am telling in the exams it can come as a diagram.
I don't know, because in your school how it is, they are
In the
doing, but
ICSE.
yeah, I think you must be having some 5 marks or that type of diagram in syllabus is not there.
I don't know. That type of thing is not mentioned in our syllabus, scope of syllabus.
Okay, fine. So no worries, but I will be drawing some simple structures so that you can learn them, because structure of ear is quite complex, as we go through when you talk about the inner ear and all that. But let's see when we will be studying that part. So that we will be discussing in the next class, these sense organs and all that. And anything else in this chapter, if you want to discuss, you can ask me.
This reflex arc is there.
Okay, I think we have done that part. Okay, fine. See, I think for Ayush, I must have told you, but fine. Let's do it today also. Okay. So reflex arc is the one. Um, First, let's see that we have three types of major neurons are working. Okay. So we have sensory neurons. Okay, then we have the one which is called intermediate neuron. Okay, and the another one which is called motor neuron.
Association neuron is there.
It's same. You can say intermediate or association, anything.
Okay,
Some
miss.
books will be using intermediate, some will be using association. The words are same. Okay.
Okay, miss.
Okay, fine. So this reflex arc is basically what happens, that sometimes we need a sudden action from our body, and we don't have a time to think. It's in a fraction of seconds, the situation will be working out for us. Like that, if something you are suddenly you hold something which is very hot, or if you are walking and something hurts on your legs or something like that, it will require a sudden movement from your body. Okay, so at that time, this reflex action or reflex arc is coming up. Just give me 1 minute.
Okay.
What happens with this situation is that I will show you one picture over here, like this. See this. That see, this is the section of our spinal cord, and what is happening over here, this sensory neuron from our sense organ. Suppose if this is your skin and it is receiving some stimulus. See here, the sense
Like,
organ is pin is there. So when you are just pinning over at the surface, then the impulse will be traveling through this. The stimulus will be received and the impulse will be traveling through this sensory neuron, and it will reach over this dorsal horn or the dorsal root of the spinal cord, and it will be reaching till the gray matter. And in gray matter you have this association or intermediate neuron will be there. Okay, so what happens that at that time brain, you don't have the time that that particular stimulus should go to the brain, then brain will justify the situation and then it will respond to the things. So at that time what will happen, through this intermediate response only, the your response will be traveling through this motor neuron, and it will be going to the muscle or the organ which is being affected by it. Okay,
who gives the decision?
it's a intermediate neuron.
Okay.
Okay, and see this, that response will be coming out of this interneuron, but at that time this intermediate neuron will be doing another activity also, that at the same time this stimulus should be passed to the brain, that okay fine, this situation has been arised, and I have performed this particular function, now what you have to do. So this is how the intermediate neuron will be performing the function. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss, it is clear.
Okay, so it's a very simple association, a very clear association. Our spinal cord is having that capability of doing that thing, because brain is already occupied with so many uh, activities and so many decision taking things. So and it will take some time because brain is very heavily evolved, so it will take that look out the matter, it will justify the situation, is it harmful, it is dangerous, or it is safe, everything will be done by brain. But intermediate neuron will not do anything, that type of justification. What it will be how it will be behaving, the moment the spin will be over piercing over here, suddenly your muscles will start making or shaking like this, so that this has to be removed, so that you don't feel that pain or whatever danger you have suffered from. Is it clear to you?
Yes, miss, it's clear now.
Okay, so here it's shown as a pin. Suppose sometimes what happens that
Any
if
stimulus it can be.
anything, even if a cotton is falling on your skin and you feel it's a, because you have not seen it, suddenly you will feel that the movement like just like insects or something like that. So at that time also the your reaction will be same, you will suddenly jerk your muscles and you will try to remove that thing whatever is there. Understood this?
Yes, miss.
So this interneuron doesn't have that capacity to decide the activity. It will do this sudden activity only. but it will definitely give that stimulus to the brain, pass on to the brain, and then brain will be seeing, okay, then brain will give the message to the eyes, okay, look out for the thing what was there, what you are, because of this situation. And then you will be feeling, because your heartbeat may have arisen due to that. So then you will, through your eyes you will see, okay, fine, nothing was there which was danger. And then you will be feeling relaxed, okay, fine. So all these things will be done by brain, but sudden response will be given by intermediate.
Okay, miss.
Okay, so that is what the reflex arc is, or reflex action.
Okay, miss. Thank you.
Okay, so that is what this chapter consists of. So next time we shall we start with the endocrine or the sense organ? I think we should go for the sense organ if we, no problem with that.
Yes, miss. We should go for the sense organ only.
Okay, so we will finish off the sense organ next time, and hopefully, because if I take up eye, it will take one class. Ear will take one class, almost, because it's a
Okay,
big,
it's two
big one.
classes.
Almost, because it's a quite,
This is a quite big chapter. Yes.
yeah, quite big and quite complex. That's why. So just send me the PDF of that chapter, beta, whenever you are free with your classes. Okay.
Okay, miss. Okay.
Okay. So fine. Have a good day, beta.
Same to you, miss. Thank you.
Okay. Hmm.